So I wanted to give you all like a little update about what I've been doing since my last competition of the season, which was July 20, the third week of July was USA's, whatever date that was, I forget. So I'm about 4 weeks post-show now, and I started my reverse diet right after my last show ended. Since then, my coach has added 15 grams of fat and 30 grams of carbs to my last peak week macros. So we've been adding macros, mostly carbs and fat, slowly but surely, every couple of days. I send him progress pictures twice a week still, and he will adjust my macros based off of how I'm looking, how I'm feeling, how I'm doing on my macros. So I wanted to talk a little bit about like reverse dieting in general, just because this is my second reverse diet, like technical reverse diet. And this one is going significantly better than the last one, or not because I was doing anything wrong for the last one, but my mindset is a little bit different for this. This time around, I really my goal is to stay as lean as possible, and gain as much lean body mass as opposed to fat mass, because when you add a little bit more aggressively, a lot of people seem to think that like you have to jump back up to a healthy or maintenance amount of calories right away to like get your health back in check, because being in a deficit for such a long time is obviously bad for your health. But once you cut down slowly, whatever calorie amount that you're maintaining at is what your maintenance is. So your maintenance changes as you go through prep. So even if you're not on prep and you're like 30 pounds overweight, I was just listening to BioLane's Physique Science Radio, so I have this kind of fresh in my mind. Even if you're 30 pounds overweight, you could be maintaining on 1,200 calories if that's what your body's used to eating. So you can't really say that just because a person is a certain height, a certain weight, and exercises a certain amount, they have a set maintenance number for their body type, which they probably do, but that's not what their body is maintaining on at the time. So the whole point of a reverse diet is to get that maintenance number as high as possible, while it changes as you slowly add in calories. So as you add in calories, your body adjusts to those calories, and then you add them again, and then your body adjusts again, and then you add them again, and your body adjusts again. And then the whole point of that is to gain as much muscle as possible, and minimal as fat as possible. Not sure, of course I'm doing this for like aesthetic reasons, and I have photo shoots coming up, and I have like some other things that I have planned for the future and things like that. But regardless, if I want to compete again, the whole point is to have more muscle and be able to cut on a higher amount of calories and not have to cut as much body fat at my starting point. So if I look back at my last reverse diet, I was super excited to like get to the 200 gram of carb club, even though I had no business being there at the end of my reverse diet. Like, I gained a lot of excess fat that looking back, I spent a majority, not majority, probably like the first like 8 weeks or so of my prep losing. So if I could maintain a body weight that I'm comfortable at with obviously I'm not going to have like a dry, hard, shredded, depleted look like I'm going to have on stage this whole time. I want to stay relatively lean, but that's not maintainable, but staying relatively lean is. If I want to maintain that and I'll be able to cut at a better starting point, I won't have to lose as much body fat, and prep will be easier, hopefully, in the long run, and hopefully I'll have a net win, as Layne Norton calls it. So be eating more calories than I started my last prep with, at a lower body fat percentage, and then hopefully end my next prep, which is going to be like, it's not going to start for like another 8 months. I want to take a long time, not a long time, but I want a solid reverse diet. Once I start my next prep, I will be in a better starting position to be successful. So there's that with the macros. I wasn't completely on point at the first week or so. I had some difficulties, like not eating a little bit more peanut butter that I had planned in my macros, or just like little nitpicky things. I had a little bit more freedom, so I also was able to add back in like Monster and gum and things like that because I cut that out at the very end of my prep. And I absolutely noticed that it makes me more hungry, which kind of sucks because more hungry, still in a calorie deficit, and have a little bit more freedom because I don't have a show. So I had like a little small issue, but nothing crazy like I've had in the past. Last year at this time, I had a really bad binging problem. I would start doing that and then it would turn into like 3 extra tablespoons of peanut butter, which if you track your macros, you know how much that is. And then I think I ate a whole entire jar of cookie butter once. It got to a really, really bad point for me. And it got to a point where I couldn't control it. So it took me a while to like get through that. I know a lot of people have issues with that. I can do a whole vlog on that if you guys are interested in hearing that. But I got past it and I noticed little triggers like that when I do them now, and then the only thing that makes me stop is just say, I don't need to do this, Amanda, stop. And I do, because I know that's the only thing that works. So I kind of had like a little bit of an issue in the beginning, but nothing too severe, nothing crazy. I didn't let it get too far. I kind of brought myself back down to earth and just ate the macros I was supposed to eat, and I somehow lost weight. I'm currently at like 108, 109, and I probably only hit 108 or 107 like a couple times during my prep, like right before LA Championships, I think, and then I was probably like 108 or 109 at USA's. So that's kind of crazy to me that I lost weight and added calories, and I'm only doing 2 15-minute HIIT sessions a week right now. 30 minutes a week of cardio. Like, that's insane to me. So I think I've always kind of envisioned this reverse diet in my head. Ever since I started my prep, I've been thinking about this reverse diet and how I want it to go and how I know it can possibly go as long as I do everything I have to do. But I never really thought I was going to be like the person who was able to maintain leanness and maintain a weight while adding calories. I never thought that was like my body type, or I was that kind of person that had that sort of luck. But it really is just about sticking to the macros that you're given by your coach, or if you're doing this yourself, just stick to what you're supposed to do and add in slowly and be patient. I know like the first week after your show is always the hardest. The second week is probably even harder. If you keep going for like 4 to 6 weeks and get that past that point, it's obviously way easier. Like now I feel like every single time I check in with my coach, I have increases instead of decreases. So it's like, hallelujah. Like not having to check in and say, okay, go down, more carbs, sorry, is amazing. Also, the mental aspect of not being on prep anymore has been really great for me. A lot of people have difficulty not being on prep and not having something to validate their themselves or their progress, like being on a stage and stuff like that. A lot of people struggle with that, I think, but for me, I know that I have more going for me than just being a competitor. Like I have a lot of things that I really want to do. I've been able to focus on other things in my life, like studying for my nursing boards, like hanging out with my friends, doing a couple other things I really wanted to do, a couple projects I have coming up as well. I've been able to actually focus on that with a little bit of mental clarity, which if you're a competitor, you know that by the end of your prep, or if you're doing a couple peak weeks in a row, that mental clarity is like really low. Like you start jumbling your words and you can't get sentences out in a full, I still kind of can't get sentences out, I'm working on it, but during prep you have a lot of trouble doing anything else or thinking about anything else besides your prep and your food and your traveling and your posing and getting your cardio in, and then you have to go home and you're like, I just want to fucking chill. So having a more mental clarity and a more energy has been amazing. That, and then not like looking at myself every day and judging myself and having a deadline of knowing that I have to look a certain way at this certain time, and then if something goes wrong during the day, or I feel bloated, or my weight goes up during one of the peak weeks or something like that, like all of that stressfulness has been completely taken out of my life. When you're in prep, little things like that can stress you out because you want to like look your best and you have a deadline to do that. So those kind of things can get really, really stressful and increase your cortisol levels, so you could have some like body changes in water retention and things like that. All of that stuff, I don't have to think about it anymore. I think my body's like responding really well to not having a lot of stress in my life right now, which is amazing. Everything's going super well, so I just kind of wanted to also mention like what I've been doing since I've moved here and like what I want to do in the future in my fitness career. I guess I don't really have like an exact set plan, but I did move out here from my small state, home state of Rhode Island, and since I moved here I've met so many people. I've been able to network. I go to Gold's Gym, the Mecca in Venice. It's like the Mecca of bodybuilding, so even just being there and being a regular there is amazing networking for me. I know in my head that whatever I'm like meant to do is going to be done here, and it's going to be done like within the next year. Obviously being done doesn't mean I'll ever be done, and I don't have a set plan of where my life is going to take me right now. So like even just being here, I'm still kind of new to LA. Like I don't have a whole lot of friends. I don't do a whole lot. I spend like a lot of time by myself, obviously going to the gym, and then I'm studying at home, so sometimes I kind of have a lot of time to think to myself. I always have a lot of time to think to myself. Probably a little bit more than I would like. But with that, all I do is think about what I can do to make myself better, to put myself in a better position to be successful in the future. What can I learn? What can I read today? What can I do to make myself more well-rounded as a person, as a hopefully fitness expert in the future? I like to think of myself as like some sort of expert, but I'm not like certified in fitness. I have a nursing degree, but I have like a health science background and things like that, but there's so many things that I want to do that I know are going to happen here, and they're going to happen within the next year. And obviously I have my like aesthetic goals to focus on. I want to gain some strength. I want to I want to do so many things. It kind of like blows my mind. I don't have a set plan, but regardless, I'm just gonna keep like putting myself out there and taking risks and hopefully making the best life I can possibly make while I'm out here. So okay, sorry, my camera died right before I went to the gym, so I went to the gym and then ate, and now I'm back and it's super dark. But anyways, as I was saying before, my camera rudely interrupted me by dying. I guess I'm just trying to say that with my social media platform that I have somehow created over the last year, and with competing and everything like that, I've had a lot of time to think that a lot of people just focus on competing and competing only, and then focusing on only doing shows and only bettering themselves to compete in shows and do better in shows. But I think kind of differently. Like I love competing and everything like that, but not competing currently has kind of made me realize that having like that social media platform that I do, this is something that's has to be bigger than myself. Competing is a very selfish sport. You focus on yourself essentially the whole entire time. I had trouble focusing on my clients and doing things and making posts for you guys during the end stages of my prep. So what I really want to do is honestly whatever is going to allow me to help you guys the most, I want to just keep doing that. I know that whatever I'm going to be doing with social media is, again, it's bigger than me. It has to do with hopefully just putting out as much information as possible for you guys. I'm still I'm still learning a lot of stuff, and I only have been seriously into fitness, or whatever you can call it, for like 2 years now. But I've done a lot of research on my own because I was poor and I didn't have any money for a coach, so I just spent time like listening to Layne Norton's video logs and trying to learn as much as humanly possible and experiment with my own body on my own. So having done that, I have a lot of experience to share with you guys, and I've continuously just learning more and more and more. Anything I can learn about, I try to do that. So I just want to be able to share as much as possible with you guys to hopefully kind of like ignite the fitness passion in other people, because it makes me feel really good when I hear other people, like my friends or my clients, just feeling so good and happy about themselves and confident in themselves and using positive self-talk and having a positive body image and a positive perspective, positive relationship with food after learning how to track, learning how to go to the gym, things like that. When people tell me things like that and I get emails and messages, that's what this is all about for me. And that's what I want to do. So I will continue doing that for you guys, and thank you for letting me get a little deep. And this video is going long, so I'm gonna have to end it here, but like and subscribe.